What's up, fellas? Happy Halloween. uh, yeah, today, I was gonna do a vinyl video, about my collection, but I thought, in the spirit of Halloween, we should review something that is truly terrifying. And that is this album right here. PUCE Mary's The Spiral. PUCE Mary is an industrial / power electronics producer. She makes some of the most unsettling music I have ever heard. Like, seriously, this shit is bone chilling. And it's terrifying. Like, sometimes I like listening to like industrial music to like fall asleep. But the first time I ever played this album on Spotify, I could not sleep with it on. It was that goddamn just unsettling. It's a decently sized album, not too long, not too short. It really gets to the point of like the aesthetic and atmosphere. The album cover is terrifying anyway, so let's begin, shall we? First off, we got the song The Spiral. A faint beat prolongs as this pained and bellowing sound murmurs in the background. I really, really like the tone it sets. You know you're in for a psychological horror ride. Like, this is some really manipulative, like, just, interrogate, like, like, I could see, like, the fucking army using this album as, like, an interrogation technique. It's that kind of sour. Yep, there's this chirping sound that kind of echoes in the background. There's this dripping noise that kind of gets louder and louder as it goes. As the track descends into more madness as harsher noises and effects enter the scene. So this is basically the first song. Yeah, it sets the atmosphere and the aesthetic of the album, which I think the point of this album is nothingness. Just, it's about oblivion. I'll get into it later. But yeah, this first song, it's not as scary as some of the other songs we're about to talk about, but it does its job. It creates the story and atmosphere. And then we got the second track called Night is a Trap 2. There's still the continuing chirp from the first song, but now the industrial aspect really kicks in. These distorted vocals and the noisy production gets into a state of panic. Lots of fuzzy static filtered throughout the soundscape. And this was one of the first times in a long time that I was generally terrified and felt uneasy, even nauseous, with all these sounds that PUCE Mary is orchestrating. It's fucking magical. It's so unheard of. I haven't felt this easy and sickened by listening to something since I first discovered like black metal earlier this decade. But yeah, this is just this album is gonna put you in a state of fear and suspense. Like, you do not listen to this if you're in a good mood. You do not listen to this to rev yourself up. You listen to this when you have finally accepted the fact that life is meaningless and you don't matter at all. At least that's my take from it. Then we got the third track called The Temptation to Exist. See, this is the first instance where I think this album is about existence in general and general nihilism and misanthropy. Alright, The Temptation to Exist. This cut opens up with a very sour and dissonant synth that kind of travels between the right and left ear channels of whatever you're listening with. There's this aura of intensity and fear. Every sudden movement or sound setting your mind into panic. Like, there are like some moments where, it's just this kind of murky, just kind of bubbling music. Then there's this bang or something, or there's a synth that comes out of nowhere and it scares the shit out of you. But it slowly envelops you as this song trudges along. Like, you are soaking in nothingness. You're soaking in this philosophical wet dream that it's just it's not a good time, but in a good way. um and there's this I want to describe as like old school like an old school film projector, like clicking in the background. There's this constant, like, really fast paced clicking that kind of sounds like a really old film. But, yeah, this is a truly disgusting and eerie drone reveals itself, and it turns your stomach upside down. Oh my gosh, this album is just fucking, it's indescribable. And then we have the song Enter Into Them. There's some rumbling and clinging that paint this bleak, hopeless atmosphere. There's some spoken word, which I will read aloud right now because conveniently it is on the back. Or it's inside. Let me just pull this guy out. So what song are we on? We are on Enter Into Them. Okay. There's multiple songs with spoken word, but it's pretty long. I'll just read the first few first two paragraphs. Okay. One morning, when people open their blinds, they will be surprised by an unexpected, horrible feeling, rooting heavily over things, giving the impression of awaiting. Birds will flutter around these parts and peck at people with their beaks and make them bleed. Sperm will flow slowly, gently from their wounds. Sperm mingled with blood, warm and virtuous with little bubbles. Their skin will start softening, coming off, and they will frantically scratch their faces and peel themselves like oranges. Then we shall see other people suddenly plunge into solitude. Men are alone, entirely alone. With horrible monstrosities, they will run through the streets while I stand there watching. They will go clumsily past me, their eyes staring, feeling from their ills and carrying them open-mouthed with their tongues out, and I will burst out laughing. That's just a little taste of what this song has to offer. I mean, this is some slam poetry shit. Like, holy shit, I am so amazed by this album. Now we got Masks Are AIDS 2. I mean, these are sequels of, like, songs from previous albums. But, anyway, this song opens up with an ear-splitting humming sound. It almost sounds like a fucking dog whistle. You know that high-pitched ringing that, like, only a dog can hear? And it, like, makes your stomach turn inside out. Those are the sounds that she's using in this song. It's unreal. But things quickly turn from confused to terrified. There is this indescribable, bellowing, chilling, wailing sound that bubbles and fizzes through the air. This is where, on my first listens, I actually had to pause and take a break from this mental cacophony. Make sure if you are going to listen to this, listen with decent headphones or earbuds. Like with equalizer wise, I don't really have a preference, just maybe bass boosted, I don't know, but listen with some, like, don't listen to this with speakers on your first time, or if you really want to get into this album, you gotta listen with a decent pair of headphones or earbuds. I guarantee the song and the rest on the album will make you nauseous. I mean, it did for me. God, this album is like nightmare inducing. Alright, next up we got The Actor. I consider this the climax of the album. There's this wailing noise that's just barely out of grasp, but you can feel its presence. This malevolent and disturbing aura is not for the unexperienced, as more dog whistles and a buzzsaw synth echoes in the background. At the middle of the song, there's this murky, watery sound. There's these murky and watery sound effects swim in the pitch black pool that is this album. More distorted vocals echoing in the vacuum of nothingness. And I'll read some more spoken word from this song, The Actor. I'll only read the first two paragraphs. I am the actor acts me, we act each other out. We can be many things, happy, miserable, morally corrupt, in perfect bliss, most of all, better. I can act anything, make it perfect. I can act it out when I act the actor and the actor acts me. I need you, my act. Woo, woohoo, yeah. Yeah, just bone-chilling poetry. But yeah, just more, and the vocals are really distorted, so you kind of have to read along with it. But the distorted vocals echoing in this vacuum of nothingness. Next up, we got the second to last song, No Memory. As the sinister album elopes through this airy atmosphere, there's this wrestling and like rummaging sound. It almost sounds like digging. Like, this song is very consistent though, and really grips you with this edge of terror. Like, you know something's about to happen. Like, this song is setting the mission statement that is the last song, and I'm about to get into the last song right now, probably my favorite on the album. The song is called Slow Agony of a Dying Orgasm. If the actor was the climax, this is the omega, the finisher, the ender, the conclusion. More uncomfortable sounds are littered through the rather atmospheric intro. You almost feel safe. Like, okay, what I thought was gonna happen isn't as terrified as what's really about to happen, right? But unfortunately, you realize it's building. It's constructing something. Like, and whatever it is not a force of peace. It is not a force of mercy. It is not a force of bliss. This is psychologically torturing you. These synths start building up, and they keep escalating, becoming bigger and bigger. Soon it towers over your mental psyche. This is the end. There is no hope, no happy ending. The song reminds you of why you were so scared in the first place. This song is building up a tower, a mountain, a monument of nothingness. But that is PUCE Mary's The Spiral in a nutshell, you know? If you really want to scare yourself and kind of make it a little hard for you to sleep for a while, I recommend this album. PUCE Mary also came out with an album last month. I had it pre-ordered on vinyl. It's called The Drought. Whenever the vinyl arrives, I will review that album. But yeah, this is my introduction into power electronics. If there's any power electronics nerds out there that can recommend me shit like PUCE Mary, I'd be very, very grateful, because I cannot get enough of this. This is just... it's like a movie. It's just fucking unreal. But yeah, gonna try to crank out more reviews, do more vinyl videos. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please share, please subscribe, and happy Halloween.